Alright, we are looking at the Tascam mystery mixer, and I'm going to talk for a moment here about my meter bridge problem where the peak lights stay on all the time and the meters peg on power up and that sort of thing. Realizing I've got a lot of information and some homework to do related to a great post by EVM 1024, but I mentioned a few posts ago that I was going to put this up, and so I'm holding true to that. The mystery mixer has 3 0-volt rails. 2 of them are the same as the 0-volt C in the M500 mixers. One of them is the same as the 0-volt D. The 0-volt D is isolated and is associated with the 6-volt rail. Why they split them up on the mystery mixer is anyone's guess, but this is where a bunch of the power rails come in to the motherboard. You got phantom power here on the top, the yellow one, and then you got plus 35, then you got one of those 0-volt C runs, minus 35, plus 15, minus 15. Then you get 3 wires that run from the power umbilical and go underneath and connect directly to the underside of the motherboard. But those essentially tie back in the power supply to the same as this one here. Over here you've got 6 volts, and then you've got your 0-volt D, which I've been calling 0-volt number 3. But anyway, it's isolated. You can't put a probe on this 0-volt run and get any voltage on the minus 15, plus 15, 48, plus 35, minus 35. They don't talk to each other. Likewise, you can't put a probe on this 0-volt run, which is the same as the C, and probe 6 volts and get voltage there. So they are isolated from each other. This connector here is where your 0-volt D and 6 volts go up to the meter bridge. This plug right here is where the plus and minus 15 volt and 0-volt C go up to the meter bridge. So that makes up the 5 wires that run through the whole bridge. So here's what happens when I power it up. I've got everything connected up to that now. And watch the meters, they'll peg and the peak lights will stay on. So throughout the entire bridge. If I disconnect the plus and minus 15 and the 0-volt C and power it up, no meters move, no peak LEDs, because of course we're missing some of our voltages, but our lamps light and looks real nice. And then of course I've just switched it off, but we've still got charge in the capacitors. I'm going to pull the 0-volt D and 6 volt, and when I plug back in the plus minus 15 and the 0-volt C, we're going to see those meters jump because of the charge in the power supply, I'm assuming. If I can get it on there. Watch. A little bit. Had some dissipation. But then, when I switch it on, you saw the meters peg again. No peak LEDs and no lamps, because of course we don't have our 6-volt supply connected. So anyway, that's what I'm experiencing. So there's some sort of conflict between, I'm thinking how I've wired these 0-volt rails. Let's see, let me switch this off again just so you can see. I'm using the idiot light or test light that Demented Cord had suggested. So we'll turn this on again. And you can just barely see. I don't know how well it's going to come out in the video. You can see the filament in the bulb right there. Just got a slight steady glow. Meaning, I think that there's something not quite right. But no smoke or anything, but these peak lights are going to be useless if they stay on all the time.